Social media is literally frying your brain. It's destroying your ability to focus. It's distracting you from the important things in life. And on top of that, it's just incredibly addicting. So much so that we've lost control over how much we actually use it. So in this video, I will talk about how social media is hijacking our brains, and I will give you 3 actionable steps so that you finally can get back control of your life. You see, using social media a lot is a little bit like eating sweets. It feels sweet and great. It's just incredibly stimulating and rewarding in a sense. And all that feels just incredibly awesome for your brain. So you basically want more and more of it. But the big problem is, while you are constantly bombarding yourself with all this fun and entertaining information, you are kind of losing your ability to enjoy other things in life. Everything else just becomes kind of dull in comparison, just because it isn't as stimulating to your brain. And that's a problem, especially when you want to do something in life that takes effort and longer periods of time where you have to focus very intensely. Because your brain is so flushed with dopamine all the time, it kind of has forgotten how to focus on things that are less stimulating in a way. So how do we solve that problem? Well, first of all, we just should reduce our screen time and the time we actually spend in front of our phones, just to restore our ability to focus on other things. But I know that that is easier said than done. Just because if you are using social media like most people do, you're basically spending hours every single day on your phone. And you are so used to that kind of stimulation that it will be kind of difficult for you not to do that anymore. So the first step for you just would be to become aware of how much time you actually spend on your phone. Most phones have a screen time app for that, which shows you how much time you actually spend on what app, which is helpful. And from then on, you can just try to reduce the screen time gradually on a day-to-day basis. While this might work for some people, other people actually will have it way easier to ditch social media completely and go cold turkey. Because the thing is, very often when we scroll, it's just like one more reel, one more reel, one more short, whatever. And all of a sudden, half an hour goes by and we don't know how that could have happened, right? So in the end, the goal probably should be to quit social media entirely if you can. I know it can be incredibly difficult to do that, but if you have the ability to limit it to a healthy amount of time every single day, that's great. For example, I struggle with just limiting myself to, let's say, 30 minutes of social media use a day, because I regularly just do more than that, even though I never wanted to. So for me, the best solution was to quit social media altogether, and that is saving me a lot of time and energy. Now, once you quit social media or you reduce your screen time actually, you'll see that you'll have just way more time in your life. And you kind of have to fill that time back again, because if you don't fill it, the gravitation of these apps will probably pull you back in, just because you're kind of bored with life and you don't really know what to do instead. So I want to encourage you to replace your screen time with other, more positive habits in a way. And these can be basically anything, and it depends on what you like to do. But the most effective things you can do probably are things that you can do anywhere, because scrolling happens in these in-between slots in life, right? You're waiting for the bus, you're at the doctor's office, you're standing in line at the supermarket. So you kind of want to find ways to keep yourself busy at that time. A good habit you could replace your screen time with probably would be reading a book, for example. If you take a small little book with you everywhere, you can basically read it every time you could scroll on your phone as well, right? But since reading obviously doesn't have all these negative effects scrolling has, it's just the better and healthier choice for you. Or, and that might even be the better solution, you kind of teach yourself to embrace the boredom that comes up in that time. Because that boredom actually can be a very positive thing. It can help you with creative ideas. And this is what I noticed, for example. Now that I don't spend that much time on my phone anymore, I come up with way more positive, creative ideas, just because I have the time to think about these things now. Now, here's the deal. You have to make sure that you don't relapse. Because if you have reduced your social media use, or you actually quit altogether, after a while, the thought of rejoining or re-engaging in it will probably come up, and it will feel like a good idea to do that. Just because A, you kind of forgot how much time you actually used to waste on social media, and B, you feel like, now I'm in control of it. What harm can do a bit of social media use do to me now? right? I quit once, I can quit again if I want to. And as harsh as this sounds, this is kind of how an addict would argue with himself. And by the way, this happened to me a couple of times. I actually quit social media like 2 or 3 times now in my life. And every time I went back after a couple of months, I kind of talked myself into it. I was like, can't be that bad, right? This time I will be in control. And every single time it happened to me that it got just out of hand and I was spending hours upon hours every single day on my phone. So you really want to make sure that you don't relapse. And this can be difficult by itself, especially when friends, for example, show you something on social media and they kind of ask you to come back. This can happen a lot. Or when you are exposed to it in another way, it just happens so fast that you are back on the train. So the best way to avoid that, in my experience, is to avoid the whole social media thing as much as you can, because every time you are exposed to it, you will be kind of drawn back into it very, very fast. And you have to be really cautious about that. Another helpful thing is to regularly remind yourself of all the negative aspects that come with excessive social media use, just to stay aware of how harmful it actually can be. So I actually made a video about this, 10 reasons to quit social media right now, which you can watch here. And if you are tempted to rejoin, just watch this video and remind yourself of how bad it actually is. Thanks for watching, take care, and goodbye.